Changing horses midstream is frowned upon in Japan, unless you know what you are doing and how the system works. Find out more in today's show. Welcome back to year 6 of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, which we release every Monday. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, master trainer, president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery. Zaegyo is the translation of Japan Sales Mastery, and Anatamo Present no Tachijin is the translation of Japan Presentations Mastery. My latest book is Stop Wasting Money on Training, and the Japanese title is Training de Okane o Muni Suru wa Yamimashou. We are bringing the show to you from our High Performance Center in Akasaka, in Minato-ku, the business center of Tokyo. Why the cutting edge? We are here to win in business in Japan. Let's all be at the forefront. Let's be at the cutting edge of how to flourish here in this market. This is episode number 308. Eradicate that sales Japan buyer, existing supplier nonsense. それでは行きましょう. So let's get going. Japan loves the devil they know over the aged they don't. Change here is hard to achieve in any field because of the inbuilt fear of mistakes and failure. This country takes risk aversion to the highest heights in business. There are no rewards for salaried employees to take a risk. There are massive career downsides, though, if things go wrong, due to an initiative they introduced. Personal accountability is not very popular here. The decision-making system here is also a nightmare in this regard. Who is the decision maker? Probably no single person. The meeting we attend may have 1 to 3 people present in the room, but they are the tip of the iceberg. An iceberg we will never fully get to meet, by the way. Behind the walls of the office sit their other colleagues who will have to sign off and agree on the change. The checks and balances of Japanese organizations guarantee a few things. One is it makes for good communication internally. No one faces an unpleasant surprise. I have found most Japanese, as individuals, are not good at dealing with the unexpected. The sudden emergence of something that had not been previously factored in has these staff rushing for the emergency exits in fear. The other thing this system supplies is the opportunity for all the vested interests to have their say. Fast action is not viewed as a plus. Reaching a consensus is very important in Japan, and people expect to have input into any new arrangements. The ringisho piece of paper suggesting the change physically moves around the section heads' desks, and each one applies their hanko or stamp to the document, indicating they are okay with the change. Nothing will happen until all of those stamps are there. Turning up as a salesperson and finding the buying team are already quite happy with their current supplier means a lot of work has to be done internally by the people we are meeting to make a change away from the known and established order. Who wants more work? No one in Japan, that's for sure. When you're dealing with small to middle-sized firms, the supplier arrangements can be even trickier. They often have a strong CEO owner running the show, the famous one-man shacho. They make a lot of the key decisions, and then everyone else does the execution of the decision. You may not get to meet with the supreme dictator directly. In many cases, the current supplier company was supplying their grandfather, who started the business. Many a good time was had on the golf course, being entertained in the Ginza by geisha, and visiting expensive cabaret clubs together in the good old days. Gifts flowed thick and fast as well over decades to cement the relationship. The current generation of the heads of the respective businesses may have been at school together, have marriage links together between their two families, or belong to special clubs as members. I see these connections at my very exclusive Rotary Club here in Tokyo. These are successful families who move in the same circles. The third generation of family business heads have deep links together, built up over the last generations. Why would they change their trusted supplier to you, a stranger, a Johnny-come-lately? Find out more when we come back from the break. If you want to sell more and do it more easily, do the Winning with Relationships selling course. If you can't build trust, no sale. Can't design excellent questions to understand the client's needs? No sale. Can't present the solution convincingly? No sale. Can't handle objections properly? No sale. Can't close? No sale. Master the sales process by doing the Winning with Relationships selling course now in either Japanese or English. The bestseller, Japan Sales Mastery, is the new Bible of selling in Japan. To sell to Japanese buyers, you need to create long-term partner-level trust, fully understand Japanese buyers' real needs, convince buyers with your solutions, overcome their hesitation, fear, and doubt, know how to ask for the order, ensure repeat orders. This book is the product of 30 plus years in the trenches selling in Japan. Order Japan Sales Mastery now. Welcome back. Be it a big corporate or a smaller concern, there are a lot of barriers to change in supplier relationships in Japan. Frankly, we have few levers at our disposal as a result. The one thing that companies fear in common, though, is getting left behind by their competitors. The globalization of business has meant these harmonious relationships between supplier and buyer are getting shaken up. Just explaining the details, benefits, quality, and pricing advantage of the solution you provide are not enough. We need to lob some dynamite into their current cozy little supplier arrangements by bringing up their exposure to being blindsided by a competitor. We need to remind them that the best solution will win in the market, or at least reduce their market share. We need to point out that in a competitive industry, no one cares about the depth of the existing relationships because they are fully focused on their survival. Rivals will make key supplier changes, and these will trigger changes across the industry as everyone else has to adjust accordingly. By getting ahead of the curve, they can win time to adjust and win market share for themselves vis-a-vis their rivals. Price and quality differentials only become meaningful in this light in the current market. Just talking about price or quality in isolation won't move the buyers to make any changes. Being 30% cheaper sounds good, except the dislocation required to change suppliers is counted as much more expensive than the savings to be gained. The effort to make new or change supply arrangements needs a strong reason in Japan, or else everyone just defaults to do nothing. This requires we come armed with examples of where a change in supplier arrangements wiped certain companies out. The best option is relating changes in their industry. But even if we don't have that, we need to show evidence of how dangerous it can be to avoid change. The drivers of change are plain to see. Globalization changing supply options. Japan's declining population driving companies to take desperate measures to stay afloat. Technical advances challenging existing business relationships. Currency movements impacting pricing, etc. As an example, the Docomo I mode was a world-leading phone app until Steve Jobs turned up with the iPhone, and the iMode is no more. We say fear and greed drive behavior. Well, in Japan, the fear factor is certainly more pronounced than the greed factor. So lead with the downside of non-action rather than upside of a new initiative. Paint a picture of how the advantages of your solution could become dangerous in the wrong hands. That is to say, their competitors. Advise them to not give an unfair advantage to their rivals by not making the change today. Express the importance of urgency, the time factor, exigency to take action right now. We need to do this to drive the imperative of all of those characters sitting behind the wall of the office to get their hunko out and stamp the recommendation, showing their support for it. The people we are meeting are not the final decision makers. So we need to arm them with the required nuclear harpoon to break through all the inertia and resistance to change that is the hallmark of business in Japan. I hope you enjoyed today's show, and so please subscribe on YouTube. Share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Become a regular. Hit the little bell icon to receive update notifications. Our website details are on screen now, www.dale-carnegie.cojp. It's packed with value, so certainly check it out. We try to offer as much value as possible, so you might also enjoy our other shows. In fact, we are releasing content 6 days a week. For podcasts, Mondays for the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, Tuesday for the Presentations Japan series, and every second Tuesday for the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show, Wednesdays for the Sales Japan series, Thursdays for the Leadership Japan series, and every second Thursday for the Business Pro Podcast Show, Fridays for the Japan Business Mastery Show, and Saturdays for Japan's top business interviews. Now, you get these wherever you get your podcast. Also, every Monday we release the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Every second Thursday we release the Business Pro Television Show, and every Friday the Japan Business Mastery Show. Saturdays, every Saturday, we are releasing Japan's top business interviews. These are all on YouTube. We appreciate your support, and please let others know about it so they can benefit too. We want to make a contribution to helping people build their careers and businesses, and so please join with us in that endeavor. In episode 309, we are talking about English-speaking Japanese staff have disappeared. So, yoroshiku, onegai itashimasu. Please join me for the next episode of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. We are here to help you. We've only got one direction in mind for you and your business, and that is up.